reductions in the other departments of the 18%. So somehow or other, we've got to get it down considerably.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, how much down you need to go, but you can't support 18%. I can't. Figure out what it would cost if you hired 2 people.
Okay.
Take out the 6. I don't know what to tell you about the LPNs. I think you need to talk with us some more about justification for 2 of them. I know you need coverage through the night. Is there any possibility of one of those RNs leaving and filling that position with an LPN? You got 2 RNs now.
Right. Yeah, their schedule is, we got 7 to 7 coverage.
7 to 7?
7 in the morning, 7 at night. That's, and then after 7 o'clock at night, there's no medical coverage.
What's the overlap?
There is no overlap.
There's no overlap with the RNs?
0.
Okay.
Yep, they get, right now, they work a set schedule, and they don't even see each other. When one is on days off, the other one's covering.
Yeah.
So there's no overlap at all.
Okay.
I just wanted to, I mean, based on the staffing analysis, and that's where I was at, so
I know.
if you want me to make the reductions, and I made the proposal, and now I've
Yep.
just been told to
Yeah.
reduce.
And I appreciate that. You're doing your job as to what the survey showed or what was required to start with. I would go back and look at 2 people, and I think we'd be lucky if we get 2 people, but I figured it out for 2. And we will say, when we get to that point with the delegation, that the commissioners, I'm speaking for myself now, we haven't talked about this, but we could say that, you requested 8 people, and we reduced it back to 2. How did you 2 feel about it?
Reduce it back to 2. Do you mean 1 LPN and 1 correction officer?
No, 2 correctional officers.
2 correction
Correctional officers only.
I don't know how we can get around the LPNs or the coverage for medications around the clock. That's a hard one to do. But anyway, what do you 2 feel about the number of people?
Would it be realistic to say to phase in people over time? So 2 this year, perhaps another 1 or 2 next year, until you're up to par?
If we have some progression with it, sure.
And then
Yeah.
things will get a little less intense in terms of monies.
I mean, the delegation may reduce you no increase, but I would try to support 2 people. How do you feel, Ashley? 2 people as far as correctional officers.
I have to think about that.
You're gonna think about it? Okay. Okay, anybody got any further questions?
Not on the budget.
What?
Not on the budget, I do have a question.
Okay.
Jason, did Captain Fowler's find or send in that report I made for the Attorney General?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Jail?
What
Did Captain Fowler send in the report I made for the jail to the Attorney General?
That I don't believe so. I don't.
Okay, hold on to it,
Okay.
because I thought about something that's not in there.
Okay.
And Asha, did you bring back the material that you took home? So I can look at and see what
I
was done
told
purposely?
you, I don't have it. We have to look at it right away, find a copy, or just maybe filed somewhere else.
I saw a copy this morning. Marge Webster did. So check with Kathy, Gary, maybe.
Yes.
Anybody got any questions regarding the jail? Anybody, public? Yes, ma'am.
I had one about the overall budget process, but, so the commissioners hear the budget now,
Yep.
and then it goes to, I'm assuming, back to the subcommittees? Or have the subcommittees been a part of the budget
No.
so
They
far?
haven't, no.
So you've heard what the commissioners say, you're gonna take that back to your subcommittee, and then it's essentially your subcommittee that's either gonna support you or not at the delegation,
Correct.
right? Is that?
That's true, but what happens is we look at the overall budget
Mhm.
and we will make some cuts to get down to somewhere that's reasonable. And then we will submit that as a county commissioners board to the state the 1st of December. The subcommittees meet after that time and further look at the budget, and they make a recommendation to the full delegation. We do present our budget within the first week of December to the full delegation and any general public that's there.
Mhm.
And then they have meetings starting the end of January, February, and March. And the budget, delegation has to finalize the budget by April 1st.
So I suppose if the subcommittee was persuasive enough in some areas, the delegation might go outside of their 1% or 3% or 3.6.2 or whatever it's at that they've said.
That's possible, but I don't think.
I don't ever see them doing
No.
that, but they could, I suppose. I mean,
They could.
Because ultimately it's their budget or the commissioner's budget.
Say that again?
Ultimately, is it their budget or the commissioner's budget? Like
They
in a town,
approve-
it's ultimately the budget committee's budget.
They appropriate the money and we manage it. We can submit what we think should be the budget, but ultimately they have to say as to what the final figure is.
And
And we have to deal with the final figure.
who signs the final budget that's submitted to the state? Is that the delegation?
The chairman of the
Commission?
delegation and the clerk,
Okay.
which gets sent to Concord. And that's how the tax rate is set the following year.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anybody else got any questions?
General questions or,
General questions?
yeah,
Are we through with jail?
what?
They don't pertain to the jail? Okay. Thank you, Jason. See what you can do.
Trying to light off my car, or what?
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
The next jail subcommittee meeting?
I had no idea.
I have not called it yet.
Oh, you,
Oh, that's right, you're chairman.
Yep.
okay.
Robin Reed is in for non-public, so again, we'll open up for general. Go ahead. Mr. Spencer.
When you were talking about the replacing the truck that's outside, are the commissioners in agreement on whether or not they want to try to buy it outright or do a 3-year time
The
thing?
motion that was passed, I believe, that we order the truck and we later find out where the money's gonna come from.
It's in here.
And we're gonna try to leave that up to the delegation as to whether they're
Okay.
gonna buy it outright or
All right.
buy it on loan.
Yeah.
I think the 3 commissioners voted that we needed a new truck,
Okay,
period.
right.
Okay,
Um,
unanimous.
Yeah, the wind test, when's that gonna get?
The what?
The wind test that they're doing to see whether or not there's feasibility of wind power, wasn't it? Well, wasn't it put up?
That was Chip Alby's,
But didn't they put something on the tower?
yeah,
When's the information coming in?
I thought we had it. I thought they came back and reported there wasn't enough wind. I'm sure.
Wow.
they
That
did.
was years, that was something else.
that was based on a country map that somebody
We-
put together, and it was
Oh,
minimum wind power up there on the mountain.
Yeah,
for
it
this
sort of told
area.
you whether it was even worth looking at, I think.
Right,
But
basically.
so as far as did the county spend any money on that test?
Yeah, I think it was.
But it wasn't significant money, but
No.
the
It was
information,
a couple hundred dollars.
but you have no concept
We'll
of
have to
what.
check on that.
Okay, all right.
That's,
Got it right.
yeah,
And the one other thing I had was they were talking about the cost of doing the sheriff's department.
Computers?
for the Cybertron.
Yeah.
And if they got the new server, it's a question I didn't get to ask, but something you may think to ask is if he gets the new server, where the estimates drop on the cost of what he thought it might cost for the sheriff's department.
Cybertron,
Yeah,
their contract?
yeah,
Okay.
right. This-
Anything else? Yes, Mr. Babs?
I have many questions. I didn't realize that we were going to be able to ask them while the budget
Okay.
presentations were going on. The first one was, I wanted to know from the sheriff, when they get talking about Cybertron's time versus Myers' time, how does the 16 hours a week that Cybertron is saying it will require compared to Myers' time? And the follow-up on that
Check up on
is
that.
we were supposed to be taking, Myers was supposed to be taking care of recording, or someone was, how much time each week he was taking.
Yes,
Has that been done?
that figure, we have that figure.
I thought that the sheriff brought in some sheets.
What?
Didn't he bring in some sheets a while ago with Myers' time?
The timesheets that were done by Myers. I mean, he could put in any figure.
Talk about the Foxcott and the rabbit
Yeah.
patch.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we do have figures as to what he claims he put in for that time.
Okay.
And we can also compare that to what Cybertron is proposing. And Commissioner Kenny is gonna take care of that in the sheriff's department.
Good. I think I misunderstood him. I thought he said, Sheriff Conley said that the medical bills were paid by us. I thought the bailiffs were all paid for by the Department of Justice. Or the JOC.
I don't know about the medical bills.
I thought he said something. I probably misunderstood him, but I wrote it right down quickly, and I was under the impression he said that we're not reimbursed for their medical, but just for their time.
I think that's correct. I think we just get paid for their time.
So we pay for their medical? That's not right.
Do you know?
They're per diem employees, they would not be eligible for those benefits.
Yeah.
You're right, you're right.
Yeah.
The next question was, when Robin was here, she said something about her budget includes legal fees. Why does Robin have legal fees if it's a grievance against the nursing home? Why isn't the legal fees applied to the nursing home and not to human resources?
It would depend, Mr. Babson.
On what?
Well, last year, we had some fees that applied to my department.
Okay,
We'll look at that.
If it was an issue, say at the nursing home or the jail, it would come out of their
well, okay,
budget.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get a total breakdown of what Cybertron has charged us this year and to what department? And it seems to me like, pretty much like a floating contract. You can't,
The total.
he said it's 15 hours per minimum per month to date.
15
Robin, you
hours,
want
I
to
think,
respond to that?
Off-site, he said.
We allocated to, the total overall contract was allocated to department based on, I believe, the number of PCs and the equipment in each department. So we have that breakdown. And what John had broken down was the time that he spent within each of those departments. What time he spent on-site and then what time he spent over.
Yeah.
Off-site. I don't know if that answers your question, but I think the combination of the two will give you what you're asking.
Okay.
Can we have those figures
Yeah, I
next
can
week?
get them from Kathy. We just need the allocation breakdown by department on what we were charged from that contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This seems